Hi, I wanted to share with you a little bit about this handout, this tree map that we gave to you about confusing areas of the unit test. It's actually for units 5 and 6. And I wanted to show you how proportions, which you received the proportion song, and that's a different video. Proportions are really, really strong and important for you to know for your MAP test, for you to do your very best. It's a great thing to look at the different ways that the same steps work. So let's look just down here. All the first three areas of this tree map, proportions, scale drawings or similar figures, and percent of change, all say use cross products to solve, use cross products to solve, use cross products to solve. So this is what cross products looks like, where you're multiplying across. But sometimes you don't even have to do that. You can use a shortcut. A shortcut is where you're using a conversion factor, either both arrows pointing to the right or both arrows pointing to the left, or you can do a connection up to down or down to up, pointing to where the variable is. In this case, they're both pointing to the right. And you can see, well, 5 times 3 is going to be 15. Do the same thing on the top. 2 times 3 is going to equal 6. So A equals 6. Now, that's the faster and easier way. Sorry, that's what this is supposed to say right here. The shortcut is the faster and easier way to do things. So you want to use the shortcut when you can. But it doesn't always work. So cross products we love because it always works. So cross products would be 2/5 equals A over 15. You're going to multiply across. So 5 times A means you just push them together. It equals 5A. This is called the coefficient, the 5, the number in front of the variable. So coefficient and variable. And then it equals 2 times 15, what the other cross product. So this goes on one side, the product, and then this goes on the other side. This is why we only use these, they're nicknamed butterfly wings, for proportions. That's why we did not use these with fraction reducing. We used factor bubbles. So 2 times 15 equals 30. So then you've got 5A equals 30. And now we know how we solve in Unit 3. They're multiplying by 5, so we divide by 5 on both sides. 30 divided by 5 equals 6. You know, you multiply by 5 and divide by 5, they cancel each other out. You're left with just A. So A equals 6, either with shortcut way or with using cross products. Now, how would that fit with the other page that we used color coding? Well, my favorite formula, it's kind of a formula, it's a setup. And again, from the proportion song it says, proportions are the two ratios you label to set up just fine. They are equal, so you cross multiply, then divide the product on both sides. On both sides, you divide by the coefficient on both sides. Don't forget percent or units at the end, and always, always simplify. So we talked about percent over 100 equals is over of, if the question was, for example, 18% of what number is 9. So 18 is the percent number, goes on top, over 100. The 100 is always consistent and stays there. We don't know the of number. That's the word right after the word of, but it doesn't say anything. It says what number, so we're going to put an N for the of number, which goes on the bottom right. And the is number is the number around the word is. In this case, it's the 9. Now we could use a shortcut. We could have said, well, to get from 18 down to 9, you divide by 2. So 100 divided by 2 would be 50. N equals 50. That would work just fine also. So that's another way that you can use cross products to solve for proportions. The next portion of our paper is saying that this could work for similar figures or scale drawings. So say that you had a triangle you have on your MAP test or your CAASPP test, 2 triangles, and maybe it says 3 over 7 is equal to 9 over n. Well, you can use the same proportion. You could put short side over long side, and you could set it up just like this and use cross product and figure out what the missing side is. This is a picture for a scale map. So this is saying that the scale is 3 inches on a map is equal to 10 miles actual distance. So again, you label to set up just fine, inches 3 to miles 10. If they're telling you the actual miles is 25, that's going to go down here across from miles. And you don't know what it's going to equal on the map. So that's the n, the missing number. Now it's time to cross multiply. 10 times n is 10n. 3 times 25 is 75. So you're going to get this, 10n equals 75. Then you have to solve for n. What are they doing to n? They're multiplying by 10, so the opposite, the inverse operation, is you divide by 10 on both sides. So 75 divided by 10 is going to equal 7.5. Don't forget percent or units at the end. So this is going to be 7.5 inches. Now, this works for the same setup, using cross products to solve, but it also works for finding percent of change. Now the formula is different in that you're always finding the percent. So every single time the missing thing is always going to be this number. For the others, it could have been one of the four is missing. So it could be one of these four, we didn't know which one, and it could move around. But for finding percent of change, it's always going to be the percent that's missing. So it's going to be P over 100, because percent is always the number that is equal to the side divided by 100. Percent means per 100. That's what this symbol means, divide by 100. So P over 100 equals the difference. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem over the from number, the original starting price or starting number. So if you just had a simple problem like the cost for flip-flops, it went from $6 to $8. Okay, well, what's the difference in the two numbers? So you subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. That number is going to go on the upper right-hand side. The from number is the original number, or the number right after the word from. And it's kind of cool because it's the same spot as the of number. And from, if you look at it, actually has the letters OF, just like it has of in it. And that's how I remember. Okay? So from is just in the same exact spot as the of number. It's the original number you start with. The from number is the number right after the word from, and it goes on the bottom right. So you have P over 100, always on the left, equals the difference, you have to subtract the two numbers, over the original price. So how much did it change? This is finding the percent of change. How much did the price change? Well, it went 2 more compared to the original 6. Then you use cross products. P times 6, you're going to put the coefficient first, and then the variable is going to be 6p. 100 times 2 is 200. Set those equal to each other, and then you divide by the coefficient on both sides. Divide both sides by 6. 6 goes into 200, 33 and 1/3%, 33 and 1/3 times, so it's 33.3 repeating. Remember, we're each time finding the percent of change, so we don't forget to put the percent sign. So again, don't forget percent or units at the end. So we did that. The answer is 33 and 1/3%. But wait, there's one more step. Did the price go up or did it go down? Well, in this case, it went from 6 to 8. So the price went up. That is called an increase. If it goes down, it's called, can you guess? Yeah, it's called a decrease. Cool. Now this last section is different. Price changes. You're going to first convert percents to decimals. So you know that you're going to run away from the percent symbol. This was the percent symbol back here, so you're going to move away 2 times. You're going to multiply it by the cost. Now, a markup is what stores use to pay for their employees' salaries and lights and to pay rent and all the things that they need in order to stay open as a store. So they have to mark up the price. They can't charge you the same amount that they are charged. So a markup is added to the cost, and that's going to give you the selling price. Here's an example. Say something cost the store owner $10. They need to mark it up 45%. Change 45% to a decimal is going to be 0.45. Then you multiply it times the cost. 0.45 times 10 is going to be 4.50, and that in money would be $4.50. Then you add it to the original cost. So this is the profit that they're making off of this one thing. And together, the cost plus the profit add to be the selling price. So the thing that they bought for $10, they're going to sell for $14.50. so that you have the privilege of going into their store and being able to buy that thing. There are some places on this planet where they do not have a lot of choices, and we're very fortunate that we do. But sometimes things don't sell, or they want to encourage people to come shopping, so they have discounts. And you want to be a smart shopper. You want to be a really smart, wise consumer. So sometimes you'll see things on discount, and you'll see a subtraction sign here, because discounts are subtracted from the cost. And then we call them the sale price. For example, say that you have a jacket that cost $80. This is to the consumer. You're no longer the store owner. You're the person just going into the store wanting to buy that nice jacket. So it costs $80, but you see a sign that says 25% discount or 25% off. So you take the 25%, change it to a decimal, run away, make it 0.25, multiply it times the cost, $80, and you'll get $20. That's the discount. And sometimes that's the question they'll ask on the MAP test or the CAASPP test. What's the discount? You'd say $20. For this one, they say, what's the markup? You'd say $4.50. But if they say, what is the sale price? You take the cost, the original cost, $80, and you subtract the discount. And I know it's really blocked out. You can't see it, so let's see if you can figure it out. 80 minus 20 is going to be, yeah, that nice $80 jacket you're going to get to buy on sale for $60. And again, that's the sale price. Okay, so that's breaking this down. Be sure that you get a really good night's sleep before any major tests, and always eat breakfast. It's been proven that up to 40% better scores students achieve just by having breakfast. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing your amazing MAP scores. You'll get instant gratification by finding out what you have immediately, and you'll be able to compare those to the goal setting sheets that you already did, that you got signed by your parents and that you signed and that I signed. Thanks. Looking forward to your amazing MAP experience. Bye.